Shalom, shalom, dear friends from the nation. We welcome you to journey through the scriptures. We're studying the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation within 40 days, Yahweh's willing. Now on the book of Ephesians. My name is Zakaria Kahyu. You can find us on our social medias, on Facebook at Messianic Davar Show, on YouTube at Messianic Davar Show, and at Injili ya Milele ya Yashua Messiah. You do so, Yahweh will bless you. Now on the book of Ephesians chapter number 1. Shaul, an emissary of Yeshua HaMashiach, by the desire of Elohim to the Kodeshim who are in Ephesus, and true to Mashiach Yeshua, favor to you and peace from Yahweh our Father and our Master Yeshua HaMashiach. Baruch be the Elohims and Father of our Master Yeshua in HaMashiach, who has barak us with every spiritual barakah in the Shemaim in Mashiach, even as he chooses us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be Kodesh and blameless before him in love, having previously ordained us to adoption as sons through Yeshua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his desire, to the praise of the esteem of his favor with which he favored us in the beloved. In him who have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of trespasses, according to the riches of his favor, which he has lavished on us in all wisdom and insight, having made known to us the secret of his desire, according to his good pleasure which he purposed in him, to administrate the completion of time, to gather together in one all in Mashiach, both which are in the Shemaim and which are on earth in him whom also we obtained an inheritance, being previously ordained according to the purpose of him, work all according to the counsel of his desire, for us to be the praise of his esteem, those having first trusted in Mashiach, in whom you also, having heard the word of the truth, the good news of your deliverance, in whom also, having believed, you are sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh of promise, who is the pledge of our inheritance until the redemption of the purchased possession, to the praise of his esteem. For this reason, I too, having heard of your belief in our Master Yeshua and your love for all Kodeshim, do not cease giving thanks for you, making mention of you in my prayers, that the Elohim of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, the Father of esteem, will give you a spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, so that you know what is the expectation of his calling, and what are the riches of the esteem of his inheritance in Kodeshim, and what is the exceeding greatness of his power towards us that are believing, according to the working of his mighty strength, which he wrought in HaMashiach when he raised him from the dead and seated at his right hand in the Shemaim, far above all rule and authority and power and mastery, and every name that is named, not only in the age but also in which is to come. And he put all under his feet and gave him to the head over all, to the assembly which is the body of and the completeness of him who fills all in all. Ephesians chapter number 2. And you were dead in trespasses and sins, in which you were once walked according to the course of his work, according to the rulers of the authority of the air, of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all once lived in the lust of our flesh, doing the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and we were by nature children of wrath, and also the rest. But Yahweh, who is rich in compassion, because of his great love with which he loved us, even we were dead in trespasses, made us alive together with Mashiach by favor, and have been saved, and raised us up together, and made us sit together in the Shemaim in Mashiach Yeshua, in order to show in the coming ages of the exceeding riches of his favor and kindness toward us in Mashiach Yeshua. For by favor you have been saved through belief, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Elohim, it is not by works, so that no one should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Mashiach Yeshua unto good work, which Yahweh prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Therefore remember that you once Gentile in the flesh, who are called the uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision made in the flesh by hands. That at that time you were without Mashiach, excluding from the citizenship of Israel and strangers from the covenant of promise, having no expectation and without Elohim in the world. But now in Mashiach Yeshua you who once were far off have been brought near by the blood of Hamashiach. For he is our peace, who has made both one, and having broken down a partition of the barrier, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, the law of the commands in dogma, so as to create in himself one renewed man for the two, thus making peace, and to completely restore the favor of both unto Elohim in one body through the stake, having destroyed the enmity by it. And having come, he brought us good news, peace to you who are far off, and peace to those near. Because through him we both have access to the Father by one rock. So then, you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the Kodeshim and the members of the household of Elohim, having been built upon the foundation of the emissaries and Nebims, Yeshua HaMashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all are building, being joined together, grow into Kodesh Mishkan in Yahweh, in whom you also are being built together into a dwelling of Elohim in the rock. Ephesians chapter number 3. Because of this, I, Shaul, the prisoner of Yeshua HaMashiach, on behalf of you Gentiles, if indeed you have heard of the administration of the favor of Elohim that was given to me for you, that by revelation was made known to me the secret, as I wrote before briefly, in the reading, then you are able to understand my insight into the secret of Mashiach, who was not made known to you, to the sons of men in other generations, as it has now been revealed by the Ruach to his Kodesh, emissaries, and Nabim, the Gentiles to be co-heirs, united in the same body, and partakers together in the promise in Mashiach through the good news, of which I became a servant according to the gift of the favor of Elohim given to me according to the working of his power. To me, the very least of all the Kodeshim, this favor was given to bring the good news of the unsearchable riches of Hamashiach among the Gentiles, and to make all see how this secret is administered, which for ages past has been hidden in Yahweh, who created all through Yeshua HaMashiach. So that now through the assembly the many-sided wisdom of Elohim might be known to the principalities and authorities in the Shemaim, according to the everlasting purpose which he made in Mashiach Yeshua our Master, in whom we have boldness and access with reliance through belief in him. I pray therefore that you do not lose heart at my pressure on your behalf, which is your esteem. For this reason I bow my knees to the Father of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, from whom all fatherhood in the Shemaim and on earth is named, in order that he might give you, according to the riches of his esteem, by power to be strengthened in the inner man through his work, that Hamashiach might dwell in your heart through belief, having become rooted and grounded in love, in order that you might be strengthened to firmly grasp with all the Kodeshim, which is the width and the length and the depth and the height, to know the love of Hamashiach, which surpasses knowledge, in order that you might be filled to all completeness of Elohim. And to him who is able to exceedingly above what we ask or think, according to the power that is working in us. To him be esteemed in the assembly of by Mashiach Yeshua unto all generations, forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter number 4. I call upon you, therefore, the prisoner of our Master, to work worthily of the calling with which you are called, with all humility and meekness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, being eager to guard the unity of the Ruach in the bond of peace, one body and one Ruach, as you also are called in one expectation of your calling. Our one Master, one belief, one immersion, one Elohim, one Father of all, who is able, who is above all and through all and in you all. But to each one of us a favor was given according to the measure of the gift of Mashiach. That is why it says, when he went up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts to men. But what does he went up? But what does he went up mean? Except that he also first went down into the lower parts on the earth. He who went down is also the one who went up far above all the Shemaim to fill all. And he himself gave some and as emissaries, and some as Nebim, and some as evangelists, and some as shepherds and teachers for the perfecting of the Kodeshim, to the work of service, to a building up of the body of Hamashiach, until we all come to the unity of the belief and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the completeness of Mashiach. So that we should no longer be children tossed and borne about by every wind of teaching, by the trickery of men, and to the craftiness of leading astray, but maintaining the truth in love, we grow up in all respect into him who is the head, Mashiach, from whom the entire body joined and knit together by what every joint supplies according to the working by which each part does its share, causes growth of the body for the building up of itself in love. So this I say, and witness in the Master, that you should no longer walk as the Gentiles walk, in the fertility of their mind, but having been darkened in their understanding, having been estranged from the life of Elohim, because of the ignorance that is in them, because of the hardness of their heart, who having become curious have given themselves up to indecency, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But you have not so learned Mashiach. If indeed you have heard him, and you are taught by him, as truth is in Yeshua, that you put off with regard to your former behavior the old man, being corrupted according to the desires of the deceit, and to be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you are put on the renewed man, which was created according to Elohim, in the righteousness and kodeshah of the truth. Therefore, having been put off the false, speak truth, each one with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be wroth, but do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your revenge, not give place to the devil. Let him who stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands what is good, so that he has to share with those in need. Let no corrupt word come out of your mouth, but only such as is good for the use of the building up, so as to impart what is pleasant to the hearers. And do not grieve the Ruach HaKodesh of Elohim, by whom you are sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and displeasure and uproar and slander be put away from you, along with all evil. And be kind towards one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as Yahweh also forgive you in Mashiach. Ephesians chapter number 5. Become then imitators of Elohim as beloved children, and walk in love as Mashiach also had loved us, and gave himself for us, and gifted an offering to Yahweh for a sweet-smelling fragrance. But whoring and all uncleanness and greed and of gain, let it not be even named among you as is proper among Kodeshim, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor coarse jesting, which are not fitting, but rather thanksgiving. For this you know, that no one who whores, nor unclean one, nor greedy of gain, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the reign of Mashiach and Yahweh. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of this the wrath of Yahweh comes upon the sons of disobedience. Therefore do not become partakers with them, for you were once darkness, but now light is the Adon. Walk as the children of light. For the fruit of the work is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving that what is well pleasing to the Master, and have no fellowship with the fruitless work of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of what is done by them in secret, but all being reproved are manifested by the light, for whatever is manifested is light. That is why he says, wake up, you who sleep, arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall shine on you. See then that you walk exactly, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are wicked. So then do not be foolish, but understanding what the desire of Yahweh is. And do not be drunk with wine, in which is loose behavior, but be filled with the Ruach, speaking to each other in Tehillim and songs of praise, and spiritual songs, singing and striking the strings in your heart to the Master, giving thanks always for all to Yahweh the Father, in the name of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, subjecting yourselves to each other in the reverence of Elohim. Wives, subject yourself to your own husband as to our Master, because the husband is the head of the wife, as also Hamashiach is the head of the assembly, and he is the savior of the body. But as the assembly is subjected to Mashiach, so let the wives be to their own husband in every respect. Husband, love your wives as Mashiach also loved the assembly and gave himself for it, in order to kadosh it and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word, in order to present it to himself as a splendid assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any of this sort, but that is might and kodesh and blameless. In this way, husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but feeds and cherishes it, and also the Master does the assembly. Because we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother, and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. The secret is great, but I speak concerning Mashiach and the assembly. However, you too, everyone, let each love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she fears her husband. Ephesians chapter number 6. Children, obey your parents in our Master, for this is right. Respect your father and mother, which is the first commandment with the promise, in order that it might be well with you, and you might live long on the earth. And you, fathers, do not provoke your children, but bring them up in the instruction and admonition of our Master. Servants, obey your Master according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in sincerity of heart, as to Mashiach, not with eye service as men pleasures, but as servants of Mashiach, doing the desire of Elohim from the inner self, rendering service with pleasure as to our Master and not to men, knowing that whatever good anyone does, he shall receive the same from our Master, whether he is slave or free. And our Master do not do the same to them, refrain from threatening, knowing that you own our Master also in the Shemaim, and there is no partiality with him. For the rest, my brothers, be strong in our Master and in the mightiness of his strength. Put on the completeness armor of Elohim, for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil. Because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against authorities and against the world rulers of the darkness and this age, against the spiritual wickedness in the Shemaim. Because of this, take up the complete armor of Elohim, so that you may have power to withstand in the wicked days. And having done all, to stand. Stand then, having guarded your waist with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having fitted your feet with the preparation of good news of peace. Above all, having taken up the shield of belief, with which you shall have power to quench all the burning arrows of the wicked one. Take also the helmet of deliverance and the sword of the Ruach, which is the word of Yahweh, praying at all times with all prayer and supplication in the Ruach, watching in all perseverance and supplication for all the Kodeshim, also for me, that a word might be given to me in the opening of my mouth, to be bold in making known the secret of good news, for which I am an envoy in chains, that in it I might speak boldly, and as I should speak. Now, in order that you also might know about me, how I am doing to Kikos, and a beloved brother and trustworthy servant in our Master, shall make all known to you. whom I sent to you for this same purpose, so that you know about us and might encourage your hearts. Peace to the brothers and I love and who believe in from Yahweh the Father and the Master Yeshua HaMashiach. Favor be with all those who love our Master Yeshua HaMashiach and youngly. Amen. Thank you, brethren. That was the book of Ephesians. We give thanks to Yahweh for this far. Thanks for those who like, those who are commenting, and make sure you also subscribe to our YouTube pages at Injili Milere Yeshua Messiah and at the Messianic Davar Show. May Yahweh bless you and keep you and also do you good. Thank you. Asanteni.